Hey, Carl, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Jason. Happy to be here.
Yeah, excited to have you on. Tell us who you are and what you do.
So my name is Carl Kwan. I'm the owner of Kwan Multimedia. It's a video marketing agency that's been around for just over 10 years now. I started out by making YouTube videos back in 2009 when I was an executive presentations coach living overseas in South Korea. And I had a client say to me, it was actually Korean Air. Korean Airlines said to me, hey, are there any videos online you can show our students? And I said, well, if it was 2024, no problem. Tons of videos, but it's 2009. There aren't any. So guess what? I'm going to start making them. And that's what I did. I started making YouTube videos. And now I've got a channel of 120,000 plus subscribers and about 16 million video views. And along the way, I decided, hey, you know what? I think that this video thing can actually work for a lot of businesses because myself, I had a background as an executive presentations coach. I had an MBA. I was doing TV, I was doing radio, live radio, and voice acting and all this kind of stuff. And I thought there's got to be some way that I can apply all these skills into what I do. And so that's essentially what I did. I used all that and turned it into the business that I have now, which is helping other business owners figure out how they can use videos to leverage videos for their business to essentially, what all of us want to make money and have a better life for ourselves. So that's essentially
Yeah.
what I do.
Well, I'm a big believer in video. When I started this business about a decade ago, everyone was writing blogs, and I was like, I can't really understand their tone. I don't understand their personality. And plus, honestly, I think I was lazy and I hated writing and I was horrible at writing. So I was like, I'm just going to turn on a video and see, what happens. And I was just lucky enough that I did that, back then. So, what are some of the things that can help some of the agency leaders listening in? What should be their first couple videos that they create?
That's a really good question. I love your experience with it as well. Exactly what you described is still relevant today, where people are not as engaged by text, and especially nowadays with how busy we are, how little time we have. I actually just created a video about this for LinkedIn where I was telling people stop posting text on LinkedIn because you're just like everybody else. And so a business coach friend and client of mine, she has been getting some training from me for videos. So she's like, yep, I'm going to take the jump. I'm going to take the leap and start making these videos. And immediately she's like, oh my goodness, such a huge difference in engagement. So yeah, absolutely important. So where to start though? I mean, you could start like what she's doing and just start putting out content that you're already putting out onto the different platforms in whatever text-based format you're using. Start creating videos about that just to kind of get yourself going. But if you're thinking, okay, well, how do I use these to attract new clients? I always start with the foundational video. You need to tell people who you are and what you do, that business introduction video. But the mistake that people often make is they think that video is an about me video, an about us video, where it's actually not. It's really about them video. How can I solve your problem? How do I demonstrate that I understand you? So that's absolutely the first one. And there are a few others as well that I always recommend. One of them is going to be something about your services. What exactly do you do as an agency, right? What value do you actually provide? But the other part of it is when you're looking at, a person's buying journey, you think, okay, well, what else do they need to know? Well, they'll probably want to know, they'll probably have some questions. They'll probably have questions that everyone asks. So I say, always make those FAQ questions. Answer those questions for people so that they build trust and rapport with you. And then to go beyond that, think about what are questions that they should be asking you that they don't ask you, right? Oftentimes there are things like that people, they just don't know. And when you do that, you're demonstrating your value, you're demonstrating knowledge of them and with their situation and background. But by sort of this really cool byproduct, you're building a relationship and rapport with them. I've got one
Yeah.
client where I didn't meet them for about a year. It took about a year for us to finally start working together. But I've been sending them video messages and communicating with them through video. And when I finally met them in person, like I'd never met this person in person ever, right? First time ever. I meet him and he goes, Carl, this is so weird, but I feel like we've known each other for years. And it was that power of having that FaceTime with each other. So those are really important, those three types. And the last one is going to be those testimonial videos. If you can get some people saying that you're great instead of having it, as a Google review, whatever, a text, always great to have that social proof. So those four types, the intro, the service that you do, the FAQs, and then the testimonials, if you have those as a foundation, you're pretty much set.
About a half hour ago, I just got off our agency mastermind call. And we were talking about video and really kind of building authority in thought leadership. And they asked me, they were like, what kind of videos do we need to create? And I told them, it was kind of funny. It was the four that you just described, like you were literally listening to the conversation. And if you guys want examples of this, if you go to our about page on agencymastery.io, you'll see one where it has the title Accidental Agency Owner. And my whole goal was like what you were saying, Carl. How can I relate to them? Because most people are accidental agency owners. And so I just start off going, hey, I got my start because my friend looked like Justin Timberlake, created a fake band, fake website called In Shit, got really popular. And then I didn't even know what an invoice was. Right. And then it did start off about me, but it was started off more about how can I relate to them so they don't think, oh, he's built an 8-figure agency. I can't do that. I was like, literally, I started from ground zero, knowing shit. And then the second one, if you guys go to our page of how we can help, we just put a video on there that launched literally today, which is probably a couple months from when this was posted. But it literally goes through the 4 areas how we help and why a community is actually better than one-on-one. And then the last one I think you were saying was, I call it case stories. I hate the word case studies, right? Because video, right? They want to hear a story. And we were talking about a story. And then, oh, and the fourth one that you were saying, that we use this as an indoctrination video. And people are like, what do you mean? Before you jump on a call with them, the one video you should send out to someone after they book, like as soon as they book on Calendly or whatever software, send a video going, hey, here's a 3-minute video for you to watch. I want to save time so I can focus on you. Here's the most common questions that people have. Go do it. So I love it. We're on the same page.
That's amazing. So tell me about that, like, from your experience then of having these videos there, what impact or difference have you noticed?
We literally just put them on last week.
Okay.
But the indoctrination video and the case story videos, we've been doing those for years. But our idea and thinking about putting it under the about page, because the about page is going to be your second most trafficked site or page outside of your homepage. Because people are going to be like, who is this person? Why should I listen? Or why should I listen to this company? And my feeling is people will click on a video more than they're going to read text. Same thing with the how we can help, right? We have 4 different things, like 2 different masterminds, live events, and a playbook that they can jump into. But I was like, let me just explain it to them. Some people are going to relate a little bit more and going, okay, I like the vibe, or I don't like the vibe. Let me go somewhere else. So that was our thinking on that. But the indoctrination one works like a champ because we're answering all the questions that they're going to have so we can save time, right? And save them time too. So
You know what I love about the videos, the other thing, and why I'm such a huge advocate? It's because whenever people are making a decision, and agency owners are the same, it's not necessarily just one person who's making that decision. And so when we just talk to people, like if I talk to you and I talk to someone else about the exact same thing, like 2 hours later, I might say it totally differently. I might forget something, right? And so with the video, though, it's that consistent message so that the next person who watches it gets the exact same thing that the first person who's already convinced is going to, already heard. So it makes it so much easier for that message to always be delivered consistently and exactly the way you want it. And the cool thing is, if you don't like that one, just do another one, or make it again, like try it again, try a different version of that and see what happens. So I guess that's the sort of, maybe it's an unknown, maybe it's people just don't realize how powerful that is. But I know that for myself, the use of videos, and there's a video email that I often send out. Any new client that I meet, I always send them this video email. And I got to tell you, that thing has probably made me more money than anything else
do you
because,
customize it
oh
or is
yeah,
it the same video every time?
I customize it every single time. So let's say, for example, we've had a meeting. So I'll send a message back to you and I'll say, hey, Jason, it was really great talking to you. I really loved hearing about how you, went to Canada and went to a casino and that was your Canadian experience. Can't wait for us to talk again next time about, how it can help your business. Right. So I personalize it with something that we talked about. And then they know, and then it's a little video. It's literally, it's me holding up a little, my phone with, hi, Jason on it or whatever. And it's a little GIF as well. It's an animated GIF. right? Where I go like this. And so you know it's for you. And that thing, I'm not kidding. I mean, it costs like $500 a year to use it, but that thing's maybe more money than anything else because it's a personalized video that took me probably 30 seconds to a minute to create if I get it right the first take. But that's the thing, it's so powerful, and then I use that as a follow-up as well. So for agency owners, this is huge. You can make ones that are stock ones that you kind of send out to everybody, generic ones. But if you just take a few seconds and just have that, especially if you're competing with another agency, no other agency is going to be doing that except for people who listen to the podcast, of course. They'll all be doing it after this. But you'll be the only one that ever sends this video out. And I have people watching these things over and over again. It's incredible. So that ability to have that consistent message, to have that FaceTime and the rapport with people that you can build passively, nothing beats the video.
Yeah. What software do you use?
That one is called BombBomb. So BOMB.com. They have a few different tiers, but the cool thing about BombBomb that I love is that it integrates with Gmail, with Outlook, I think with different email providers. You can use it on mobile as well. There's even I think an extension where it even works on LinkedIn. So I've sent them through LinkedIn as well. The cool thing about that also is that whenever someone watches it, it gives you all the tracking. So it
Yeah.
tells you if someone's clicked on it, has watched it, how much they've watched, right? If you put a link into your email, even they can track that for you. There's a little
Mhm.
call to action thing there. So it does a great job of, providing some metrics for you that you can say, oh yeah, you know what, that video is working really great. I love that they're, and so here's a sneaky little trick that I use. Whenever I notice that someone has watched that video, let's say it's been a week later or something, and they watch the video and I can get a little notification. Within about 5 minutes, I'll send them another message going, hey, just thinking about you, wondering how things are going. And just want to check in. I've got this other thing I was thinking about might be really useful for you. So provide some other value for them. And, they already just watched the video. They don't know that. But suddenly it's like, oh, hey, Carl's like reaching out again. Look at that. We're
Bingo.
just watching his video. So that's a sneaky little trick that people can use if they're using that
Yeah.
service.
The other little trick most people don't know, if you go onto the LinkedIn app on your phone, you can send videos. You can upload a video to people that way. Like, I love the video. I've always used the video for when people join because I always find the onboarding process is very key. Like, so when an agency owner joins the community of the mastermind, I always send them a welcome message and I send it right to their text. I just literally record a video right on my phone, like right in the office or wherever I'm at. Hey, Carl, you made the right decision joining the mastermind. Glad you're here. Here's my personal cell phone if you ever need anything. We'll go over the rest in onboarding. Welcome, right? Like, it's amazing how powerful video is. And then a lot of times people think, how'd you automate that? Especially with AI now. I'm like, it's not. But that's really going to hurt us on the mastermind. I created this song. You probably were listening to probably the pre. I did it off the Gambler and I did it for agency owners. And then I put in a tool. I was like, sing it. And you'll probably see me lip syncing. My team will probably make me do it to get some views. But it can be so realistic now that people are going to think we didn't customize it. They're going to think, oh, AI did that. And that's going to hurt us. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Like, I'm not liking that because I take a lot of times in sending personalized videos. Now they're going to think it's all fake.
Is this all fake right now, Jason? Is this really
It's all
you right
fake.
now? Yeah,
There's
me
no
neither. It's not
scrutiny.
me either. Yeah, it's me. Yeah, exactly. It's not me either right now. I love that. So personally, I think AI is fantastic. I fully embrace the use of AI. I think it's just an amazing tool. I think what you talked about with the song thing, I have an experience with that recently where I was talking to somebody that writes songwriter, professional songwriter, been doing this for years and years, probably like 30 plus years, lots of different clients all around the world or whatever. And I had a conversation with this person about their services. And they're explaining to me, how they write this custom song, do this stuff, and think it costs like 5 grand to get a song made, right? And I thought, okay, that's really cool. But there's this AI song generator stuff out there. So I took my own personal branding, whatever. I used AI as well to help me figure out what I should do with the song lyrics. Put in my own brand. Said I want to create song lyrics for like this, 15-second thing or whatever. So I went to that AI service, plugged it in, had a song done in about 5 minutes,
Perfect.
of course, with like singing different. I love I mean, I look like it, but I'm really into like old school funk and like hip hop and whatever. And so I'm like, I want a song just for fun. And so, sure enough, it comes up with like two different versions. I didn't like them, so I had to do it again. But within like 5, 10 minutes, I had this song, and I'm like, that's actually doable. I could actually use that if I really wanted to. And so I was telling everybody, I'm like, save your 5 grand. Here's like, do it with AI. So when you say, is it going to be us and is it going to be real? I think that ultimately, if we are real, like you were saying, like maybe someone's worried that it's not going to be me, it'll be like someone else. I don't know if that's going to ever really take the place of having a real person. I think that we'll get called out on it if we do. Like they might say, "Hey, Jason, I love that message you sent to me about how you thought about my dog and stuff like that." And you're like, yeah, no, yeah, your dog, Spot. I'm
Mhm.
hoping that surgery on his leg went well or whatever, right?" And you're like,
Yeah,
no, that wasn't. So I think that you still need to be authentic, and we'll still want to
yeah,
connect with humans. That's why, although I love AI and I use it for so many different purposes, I still think that this is so important. And when you see, the technology will get really good where we may not be able to tell the difference. But as humans, I think we'll always know. And I think that if you are who I think most agency owners are, you have that authenticity. You have that passion for what you do. You'll never want to replace yourself with AI simply because
yeah.
I think your own values won't allow you to. At least they won't for me.
Hi there, agency owners. Let me ask you, are you ready to scale your agency without increasing your overhead costs? If yes, then you need to know about E2M Solutions. Now, E2M is the number one most reliable white label partner for agencies. They specialize in web design, WordPress development, e-commerce, SEO, and content writing. They basically do all the heavy lifting, which frees you up to focus on growing your agency. Now, here's the best part. E2M is just not another vendor. With over 10 years of experience, their team of over 300 experts has a track record of delivering for more than 300 agencies. They're your strategic partner. They deliver on time every time so you can focus on what you do best. Now, E2M's mission is simple to help 500 agencies increase their revenue and profit margins with white label services that actually work. And to help you get started, they're offering a special deal 10% off for the first 3 months, but act fast because it's only a limited time offer. So head over to e2msolutions.com/smartagency to check out their transparent and their flexible pricing. Trust me, if you're ready to grow without burning out, E2M is the partner you've been looking for. That's e2msolutions.com/smartagency. Go check them out and tell them Jason Swank sent you. Yeah, I'm gonna blow your mind. We always have like these discussions in the mastermind, and we were talking about AI. And I'm always beating people up on like members. I'm like, you should create a podcast. Like, if you're not creating a podcast, you're missing out. There was this tool. I can't remember the name. If I can remember it, I'll put it in there. But literally, you can say, create a podcast, and here's the website. And so they even did one for me. And they put in the agencymastery360.com. And in about 10 minutes, it created a 30-minute show. And it was like two people talking, a female and a male. And it was going back and forth, going, hey, Carl, welcome to the show. And they were having banter back and forth. You could not tell. And they're like, hey, I like this Jason guy, man. He's got like this 8 system framework for really helping you out. And dude, he's built and sold agencies. Oh, yeah, I really like that. And then it kept, because it was reading our site and then putting it together. Everyone in the mastermind were blown. Like, you could not tell.
Holy smokes.
It was
That's
crazy.
that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And then think about, then you could put that with video. Now, this one company, the disadvantage they have currently right now, it's the same voice, same voice for the
Mm.
male and the female, which if you think about, it's really easy to change, later on. But damn, this is awesome.
Wow, man, that is incredible. I've never heard of that before, but I can definitely see how that is possible and why that exists. That is, yeah, my mind is blown already. I'm thinking that's amazing because, have you ever tried, like I did this for a couple of clients where we had actually one client, they had something recorded by a different videographer out east, and the videographer stopped the recording before the client finished their last sentence, their last word of their video. And they couldn't record it again, it was impossible.
Just type
So
it
I
out.
cloned their voice. Yeah, I cloned their voice. I cloned the client's voice and I just, fixed it basically, right? And you couldn't tell. He couldn't tell. I'm like, hey, and there, by the way, you made a couple of mistakes within your script as well. I fixed those other parts as well using AI. I hope you don't mind, kind of thing. Of course, he didn't mind. But the fact is, I could use his voice and other people's as well. I've done it before. And I think that with this, if we could, like I said, upload something, create something, do a brain dump every week, like some ideas. They'll actually create all the ideas for me. But then if it just uses my voice to create this stuff, like, holy smokes, like
Well,
that's incredible.
one thing we were thinking, and this is possible. I've seen people do it. So let's say there's the site that has all this like news information, a news source that we have. Anytime I highlight, so let's say I wanted to create a podcast every day and I wanted it to talk on three different topics. All I have to do is highlight these three different things, and then that would go into a Google Drive. Then I would take the Google Drive, and this is all automatic. You can take it from anything goes into Google Drive, run it through ChatGPT for the subject of the podcast, the script, then that pushes it to the script voice generator. It's all possible right now. So literally all I have to do is like, oh, that's an interesting article that Carl wrote, highlight. And then at the end of the day, each day it dumps and it creates this show. Now it doesn't create the interaction that we have, because I think the benefit of jumping on a podcast and interviewing people is you get to meet new people and you get to have those conversations, and you become smarter by chatting with them, unless you're an idiot and you become dumb, right? Or whatever it is, right? Like, so I don't think that will go away, but it's just when I started researching some of this stuff, I was like, wow, we have come so far. It's a little bit scary, but then it's like it's exciting too.
It is exciting. I love that. I love that idea of being able to connect those different aspects and have some sort of output like that. I think it's Make or something like that, where you can link different things and kind of like a Zapier type
Yes.
of
Yep.
thing,
Yeah, it's
right?
like
So
it's like Zapier too, right? Make.
right, it's like that kind of thing, right? Yeah, like Make is similar, because I heard about this as well. And for example, as an idea for if you're creating video content, you want these scripts and whatever, same thing. You could just highlight something that you think is a great topic, have that put into there, generate a script for you, right? Have all the titles and the descriptions and the tags and everything kind of made for you, and then have, maybe sent to your teleprompter app or whatever and record your video type of thing. Or what I saw, I think it's in Brazil now, I think it is. I don't remember the exact country, but they're using the AI newscasters. So when you're
Oh,
watching the
yeah.
news program, it's not a real person, it's an AI
Yeah.
character, and it's because of all the threats to reporters and journalists and whatever in those countries that they're not even using the real people anymore. They're just putting the AI people
And you
in
can't
there. And they
believe,
even say,
yeah.
right. But they'll even say, like, hey, by the way, I'm not a real person. Don't come looking for me down the street outside the studio after, because I don't exist. I'm not a real person. But that's what they're doing already.
I
It's
saw
incredible.
there was an iPhone app I saw an advertisement for, and it had Celine Dion singing the song. And the app is you could put your face over it. So it put The Rock's face over Celine Dion singing, and it was amazing. Like the ugliest person ever. The Rock as Celine singing the song. Not saying The Rock's ugly, but you're an ugly woman, right? Like it was pretty funny.
Well, one cool thing that I saw was that if you made a video of yourself, like just, switching back a little bit towards video, but if you made a video of yourself, let's say we're obviously all speaking English here or whatever. But let's say, for example, I want people in Spanish
Brazil.
speaking countries, Brazil, Portuguese speaking countries, Germany, wherever, France, wherever, to also be able to watch these videos in their native language. There's actually a plugin. I can't remember what it's called now, but there's a plugin that you can use to translate your voice into that language, but then it actually mimes your voice, mimes your mouth,
Lips.
so that it looks like you're speaking in
That's
that language
cool.
as well. So if I wanted to speak Japanese, I'm thinking, I need to get into the Japanese market, but I don't speak Japanese at all. Well, I now look like I can speak Japanese, right? Because you can tell, right? Like it's like lip synced. Obviously, you can tell. You watch the
Whenever I
movies,
get on
lip
Netflix,
sync.
that's my biggest pet peeve is when it's dubbed and I can tell, like, I'm like, oh, turn it off. Right. But yes. And that's what Mr. Beast has done. But I think he would pay like these famous actors to, be his voice in all these other countries. And now you can use a plugin to do this. Like it's
And it's your voice. Like it'll still be your voice, Jason. It won't be,
yes.
you won't be getting like, Arnold Schwarzenegger do like the Austrian, the Austrian accent for your German audience or whatever. It'll be you, right?
Yeah.
Speaking with a German, speaking in perfect German.
I love it. I love it.
So cool. Yeah.
Well, this has been a lot of fun, Carl. Is there anything I didn't ask you that you think would benefit the listeners listening in?
I think the one thing that I want agency owners to realize is that you need to be using the videos, especially on YouTube. We know as agency owners the importance of being out there for our clients, right? That how important that is. And yet we don't do it enough. I have agency, collaborators where when I send them clients, the clients go, "Are you sure we should work with them?" And I go, "Yes," but their website. And I'm like, "Yes, don't worry." So you need this awareness as well, right? For
Yeah.
yourself. And it's still not too late. It's not about how big of a channel you have or how many subscribers you're going to get or how many views you get. Really, it's really just having that ability to prove to people that you actually know what you're doing and what you're talking about. And YouTube is the only platform that will also help you find an audience. So have a YouTube presence and utilize that over the other, social media channels that you're utilizing already. And that will greatly impact your business as an agency just because you'll have more proof that you know what you're doing. And
Yeah.
for all of us to stand out and to be different, it's why you're doing this, why you're helping people with the program, right? Help them to elevate and to stand out. So get into that. If you're not really sure how to do that, please, ask me. I'll be more than happy to jump on any call with anyone to say, hey, do this, do that. Here's what you should be doing. We'll be happy to do that. But that's the one thing that I think I want to
Yeah.
leave people behind is
And I'm
do that.
glad you mentioned kind of it's not really important about the vanity metrics, how many subscribers or how many views. I can't tell you how many emails I get every single day going, wow, you've been putting out videos like over 1,000 videos out there. I just got a notification on YouTube. I was like, holy shit, I didn't know we did 1,000. And they'd be like, well, you should be getting so many more views. I'm like, well, yeah, I'd like to, but they think it's like a bad thing. I'm like, well, but the 300 people that watch this one video, these are my core. Like, I don't want to attract the people that are not in my core. And I don't think a lot of people understand that when they actually put out a video. They think, oh, it was a failure. It was only got 300 views or 10 views. But what if you were in front of 9 of your perfect prospects?
But that's the thing, and there's actually a great example of this. There is a channel, I don't remember the exact name, but they do church marketing services. So they essentially help churches to market themselves. And they didn't have a large channel, what we would consider a smaller channel at the time, maybe like 8,000 subscribers. But what I found out was that they were actually earning about 160 or $200,000 a month off of that small channel because they were able to what we should be doing, like what you're doing, getting people off of that YouTube channel and into their program, into their sales funnel, whatever it might be for them. And that's where they're making their money. So, like you just said, it's not about the vanity metrics. It's really about are those 10 people, your mom included, are those 10 people the ones that'll actually want to do business with you? Right. And that's the only people we want to talk to anyway.
Awesome. Well, this is so much fun. Thanks for jumping on the show, Carl, and for everyone listening in. We just put together and really gave you access to the agency playbook or 8 system framework. We've opened it up for all of you to see the first 3 systems, which is the foundation for really scaling your agency. We want to give that to you for free. If you guys go to swank.com, you can get access to that. And until next time, have a swank day.